Good morning to all of the 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins elite fans watching at home. Coming to you game number 2, semifinal matchup, game 2 of the day, I should say, for your 2015 Pens elite squad, who were victorious over the Bay State Breakers earlier today by a score of 3-1, now having a rematch with the team they played outside earlier in the tournament that ended in a 1-1 tie. It's the Boston Junior Eagles. So second team from Massachusetts here in the playoff round. Starting in net for the Pens, number 29, Max Dragicic. And up front at center, number 74, Easton Borman. On the left side, 25, Blake Parris. On the right side, number 8, Connor Wilson on the back end. Playing defense for the Pens elite team, number 4, Wyatt Frankenfield, and his D partner, number 7, Nico Stark. So we're getting set up here for first period action. Semifinal winner will take on the winner of a game that's going on the other rink here at Harbor Center in Buffalo between the Little Flyers and the Mid-Fairfield Junior Rangers. Faceoff's going to be won back now by the Junior Eagles. They're going to force this forward. But coming back from his center position into his own end is number 74. Easton Borman tried to get it over to Frankenfield. That goes in front of his stick as it's collected now by number 7, Nico Stark. He's run into and challenged by Keating. But Blake Parris is able to move this up and out of the zone, as coming back to center now and throwing it right back into the Pens D zone are the Junior Eagles. This time it's number 4, Wyatt Frankenfield, to collect off his backhand. Goes to Nico Stark. He's going to curl back around and create some space. Loses the puck here, but he's able to recover and steal this back off of number 37. Moves it up to left winger Blake Parris. Parris deflects this along, goes right back to his tape. He's going to throw this back into the Boston D zone as the Pens are going to go make a change. Nice back check there by Connor Wilson, as the Junior Eagles going to fall down and content to move this to Frankenfield. Frankenfield to Stark. Stark tried to move it up to Mulligan. Mulligan's going to be run into now. It's in his skates. Freshly on the ice, Riker Ferguson tries to push this further up the wall, as we have 8:48 now to go in the first period. Frankenfield's pulled down. There's going to be a penalty here, as Ferguson picks this up, and Dragicic's going to head to the bench here as Ferguson's going to chip this up to Wilson. Wilson tries to move this along. He's got something going here. He's got Mulligan going with him. He's got Borman streak down the right side as well. Off the left post, as the Pens here have an empty net, 6-on-5 advantage. Nenevich is going to curl back here. The Pens don't want to give up possession here, but they do, as Mulligan was unable to get to that puck. So the Pens are going to go to the power play. Tripping call as Wyatt Frankenfield was pulled down here in the first period. So to take this draw, number 74, Easton Borman, with Mulligan, and that's number 19, Bingham Green, on the backside, Nenevich and Welch. It's going to come all the way up the wall now, as the Junior Eagles are going to bring this back to the neutral zone, as the player's going to work his way to the wall. Forced there nicely by Nenevich, and Green's on to help out, as the Pens have a power play, but it's going to be the Junior Eagles centering attempt that goes through everybody back up to the point. They're just going to wing this right back down here to the wall, where Nenevich is going to challenge number 22. On to help out is Borman. Borman gets this puck. Looks to headman this up to Bingham Green. It's on his tape now. Bingham Green's going to fly into the offensive zone. Centering pass goes off the stick of Mulligan. And it's going to be thrown into space as Bingham Green has to take this out of the zone. He's going to wind this back up to the stick of Noah Welch. Welch is going to now skate this in. Nice little pass over to Riker Ferguson. He's in. Knocked off his stick at the last second now. Ferguson's going to bring this high up to Sawyer Phillips. Phillips has some time, goes right back to Ferguson. Ferguson tips this through the slot. Collected by Brooks Jaworski. He tried a curl move. Nothing doing there. It's going to come back to center now to the stick of Grant Loya. Pens almost got a too many men call there, as their D was getting on before the other D-man got to the bench. Lucky to not have an even up call there, as Nico Stark's now on the ice. Stark's going to throw this to space over to Sawyer Phillips. Phillips curls now behind the net. 6:46 to go in the first period. Phillips now still has it. He's going to come up the half wall. He leaves it for his center iceman. That's number 74, Borman. Borman switches now with Gaworski as it goes through the legs of Grant Loya. Pass a little too hot for him to handle. It comes all the way back down in the Penn's end, collected by number 7, Nico Stark. Stark curls back, sends it off the wall to himself. As we are back to 5-on-5 action. But it's Sawyer Phillips going to come in. He stops up, shows some patience. It's in some skates. Kicks now down to the goal line, back up to the point, covered nicely by Easton Borman. Borman comes down the half wall. He's got Loya. Thinks about going to Loya. He's going to reverse with Loya, though. And it's going to go into traffic and over the stick of Easton Borman. It's going to be Frankenfield. That's going to be called off by number 8, Connor Wilson. He wants to go back and collect this puck now. Gets around one guy. And headmans it up to Grant Loya now, leading the rush. Grant's going to bounce to the outside. He's run into as he's knocked off the puck now. And the Junior Eagles going to bring this around the Frankenfield. Long shot off the left pad of Dragosic. Wilson hustling back to get to this. Loses the puck, though, here along the goal line. 37 picks the pocket of a player. Bounces in on Dragosic. Still loose here. Nobody can find the puck. As Frankenfield's going to force this off the wall now. As Riker Ferguson has it, he's going to throw it behind the goal up to Blake Parrish. Parrish is going to leave this for Welch. Welch is going to start skating here. He's going to be knocked off the puck, though. Goes up to the stick of Connor Wilson. He gains the zone. He walks in, shoots wide of the net now. Welch is going to try and hustle over and keep this in the zone. Does momentarily. It's going to come back to center to Blake Parrish. He's going to dump it in. Unfortunately, Connor Wilson was still in the zone. Offsides call. 4:49 to go in the first period. Easton Borman here at center is going to take this face-off, flanked by Green and Mulligan on the backside, Loya and Nenevisa. Face-off cleanly won by the Junior Eagles, but it's going to kick back right to Nenevisa. He's going to have his puck stolen and push deeper into the zone. Easton Borman's going to come back and collect the mail. Puts it off the half wall up to Bingham Green as the Pens are in transitioning back to offense, and Bingham Green's going to push this along. Mulligan's in the zone ahead of the play, though. Offsides is the call. 4:28 to go in the first. So another neutral zone face-off here to be taken once again by number 74, Easton Borman. Kicks it ahead to Bingham Green. Long shot. Goalie looked surprised to glove that down there. He did a quick little double check to make sure he had it. Sneaky shot by Bingham Green is going to create an offensive zone face-off. Pens changing up their forward group, going to stick with the same D pairing as Riker Ferguson steps on now with Brooks Gaworski and number 3, Sawyer Phillips. It's going to be one right to Brooks Gaworski. He curls around, creates some space. Long shot, deflects in on net. Ferguson just puts that rebound wide. And it's going to be outletted to the neutral zone, collected by Nenevisa. He goes D to Loya. Loya gets his head up, moves it up ahead to Phillips. Phillips now back in the zone cleanly. Centering pass attempt goes over the stick of Ferguson, and it's going to be pushed up here to the point, left point, where Nenevisa, number 77, left-handed defenseman for the Pens. He dumps it now below the goal line where Sawyer Phillips goes to work. Now to the side of the ice where it's manned by Brooks Gaworski. He's knocked to his feet. On to help out, though, is number 3, Sawyer Phillips. He's rubbed out. Coming down to pinch down is number 43, Grant Loya. Unable to get to that puck, though, as the Eagles are coming out 2-on-2. As 87's going to be forced off the puck nicely by Grant Loya. Following on, though, is another Junior Eagles player. Tosses below the goal line. Nenevisa runs over to get to that puck where he headmans it to Gaworski. Gaworski has his pass turned over to number 87. 87's going to force it down the wall now as Easton Borman. He's got a jump in his step this morning. He's going to have his possession of the puck sticked away. It's going to be centering pass. Gets through everybody as 87's trying to work around number 4, Wyatt Frankenfield. Over to help out, though, is Borman. And Brooksy Gaworski tries to headman the puck. Fanned on the clearing attempt. It's right in front of the crease right now. Gaworski able to recover and pick up this puck. He's going to skate it out of danger now. Curls back into the center ice. He's coming in 1-on-4. Good back check there by the Eagles player. Slows him down as Gaworski's going to go for a change now. It's going to be sent up the wall where Blake Paris is going to send this further along. Connor Wilson steps in. Pad save. Another pad save. As Blake Paris, he's looking for a pass. He leaves it for Wilson. Good change there. Wilson's going to bring it up below the goal line. He's going to try a wrap move. And he puts it in. Connor Wilson stopped up, hesitated for the second. The goalie did not get over to that post because he thought perhaps Connor was going to come back out the same side. Connor Wilson with the wraparound tucks it in. 1-0 score with 2:38 to go in the first period. Your Pens Elite squad goes up 1-0 on the Boston Junior Eagles. Connor Wilson, the goal scorer here. Riker Ferguson now at center. He's going to push it right to his right winger. It's Connor Wilson. He's in all alone again on the outside. Good power move. Almost tucks it in again. This time, though, it's going to be Nico Stark. He's going to throw it right back down the wall. He was looking for Wilson. Comes back to Stark. He fans on that shot attempt. Sticks with it. Puts it right back down in the zone. Wilson tries to deflect that to center. As a puck battle here results with a potential icing if it's long enough, and it is long enough as Frankenfield went back to collect that. So we'll reset here. Offensive zone faceoff, 1:36 to go. Connor Wilson gives the Pens Elite squad the lead here in the first period. And Easton Borman is going to step in at center with Green and Mulligan. Noah Welch and CJ Nenavisa to complete the 5-man unit here for the Pens. Shot in off the right pad of the netminder. Welch is going to try and hustle to keep this in. It deflects off his stick back to center. Nenavisa is going to come over to play this puck. Nenavisa is going to try and send this up off the wall into a crowd of bodies here along the Penguins bench. It squirts out to the stick of Nenavisa. He pushes it back to the neutral. As the Junior Eagles are going to attempt to start the breakout here. Welch is going to come over to hustle over to this puck. This might be long enough for icing. And it is. It's another offensive zone faceoff. Pens are going to change up their troops again. As we're at the 1-minute mark in the first period. Riker Ferguson is going to be on with Gaworski and Phillips on the backside is Nico Stark and number 43, Grant Loya. Ferguson gets set for puck drop. But the Junior Eagles are able to win this draw back where they take it below the goal line. Good pressure, though, being applied by number 3, Sawyer Phillips. He's going to throw it up the half wall. Gaworski's run into. Centering pass attempt, looking for the stick of Ferguson. Instead, stepping up is Loya. Loya's going to have this on his backhand. Now it reverses to his forehand. He's got Stark at the point. Stark going to snap this shot wide of the net. Hustling over to this puck is Riker Ferguson now. Uses his backhand. He cycles it back to Sawyer Phillips. Phillips was bringing that higher in the zone, though. He loses possession of it. Stick down the zone by Grant Loya. It goes off of his glove now. Over the stick of Grant Loya. Foot race here with Stark and number 24. Stark wins that, moves it to Gaworski. Gaworski's going to reverse back to center ice. Ahead of the play, though, with Sawyer Phillips. Offsides is the call. 15 seconds to go in the first period. Pens lead 1-0. Connor Wilson, the goal scorer. As we have a neutral zone face-off here to complete the first period. And Easton Borman is going to take this draw. He's on with Paris and Wilson. Frankenfield and Welch on the D side. Wilson's going to step ahead. He may have one more chance here. Brings it to his backhand, goes off the side of the net. Junior Eagles are going to possess this puck, and they're going to take this back here as a player's coming with speed. He's going to chip it around. Welch coming over here is Wyatt. And that's going to be it for the first period. The Pens go up with a 1-0 lead. Connor Wilson, the goal scorer. We'll be back here momentarily for the second from the Buffalo Harbor Center semifinal round of the 2025 Buffalo Cup. right, second period action set to resume here from the Buffalo Sabres practice facility here at Harbor Center. Semi-final matchup between the Pittsburgh Penguins lead and the Boston Junior Eagles. Junior Eagles are going to win this face-off here to start the second period. It's going to be forced back down into the Penn zone, as number 4 is going to try and curl around Borman. Borman says no way to that. Can't force it up the wall, though. Welch comes over to help out, as it's going to be sent into the slot, high slot, shot into the equipment of Frankenfield. Good shot block there by Wyatt. As Noah Welch is going to go back behind his own net to collect this mail. Throws it over to his D partner, number 4, Wyatt Frankenfield. Frankenfield trying to get to that puck, though, unable to do so, as it's going to be sent right back down below the goal line, where Frankenfield's going to try and work this over to Welch. He falls down, though. Borman now collects it. Borman tried to send this up into the slot off the equipment of Welch. Goes down for the shot block. It's going to come all the way down the ice. It's going to go off the stick of the netminder. He played that, though, wave off the icing. Number 23 for the Junior Eagles goes crashing into the net. Finds the stick of Blake Parrish. Unable to get that shot away, though. Comes right back to the neutral zone, where number 43, Grant Loy, is going to wait for some of his teammates to get back on side. He's going to wind things up here. Grant Loy is coming in with some speed. He stops up. He hesitates, takes it all the way down to the goal line, as he's going to be muscled into here by a couple of guys, where the Junior Eagles player, number 9, Jones, he's going to wind things up here. He's going to be back-checked nicely by Riker Ferguson to apply some pressure. He's going to go around Nenavisa. Jones still has it. Centering pass attempt blocked off by Riker Ferguson. Ferguson works this up to Blake Parrish. He falls down. I should say tripped up here as it comes high in the slot. Dangerous situation. Bingham Green comes over to get a stick into that shot attempt. It's Blake Parrish that's going to force this back to center now. Goes off the wall. CJ Nenavisa is going to lead the rush. Nice pass there by CJ, just a little in front of Bingham Green. Bingham Green's going to stick with this, as it's going to be sent up the wall now and to center by the Junior Eagles. They're going to try Stark. It's in his equipment, and it's going to be offsides for the Junior Eagles here. 7:51 to go in the second period. Pens leading 1-0 from the Lee Com Harbor Center in Buffalo, New York. Easton Borman, number 74, is going to step in to take this draw with Green and Mulligan. On the backside, Stark and Frankenfield, won again by the Junior Eagles. They're going to dump it right back into the offensive zone. It's in the skates of Stark. He's able to kick this forward, but not out of the zone. Big winger for the Junior Eagles, number 3, tried to push this along, but it goes to the stick of Wyatt Frankenfield. Frankenfield over to Stark. Stark gets his head up. He's going to send it ahead out of the reach of Mulligan, but this might be on net. But the officials are saying to play that puck. So icing's going to be waved off. Goes off the wall and out of the zone. Back to center now is number 4, Wyatt Frankenfield. He's going to curl back along the wall. Still has that puck. He's trying to bump it up to Green. Green now has it. He's going to send it behind everybody, and he's going to go for a change. Oh, and Mulligan going to be on the forecheck. Pens are changing D behind the play, as Brooks Gaworski's able to hold this in the zone. He's going to come in 1-on-3. Brooks Gaworski snaps a shot, fans on the shot attempt, as the Junior Eagles are going to try and force this out of the zone. Welch is going to step down to hold this in. Goes back down to Gaworski. Still on the wall here, as the Junior Eagles are going to bring this out of the zone. Good back check there by Riker Ferguson. Welch is going to pick this up. He curls around one guy. He's going to move it up to Gaworski, and it's going to be sent all the way down the ice. It is long enough for icing. Official has his hand in the air, blows the whistle. Going to come back down for an offensive zone faceoff. 6:34 now to go in the second period. Looks like the Pens are going to stick with the same crew that's on the ice. Riker Ferguson's going to step in for this faceoff. Gaworski and Phillips, Nenavisa and Welch, as they get set to the right of netminder number 35, Hurd. Puck's going to be won back to Noah Welch. Welch is going to send this down the wall and around as he rims it for Riker Ferguson's going to go over and pick up this puck. He reverses it now. Nenavisa is going to force this to the high slot area, where curl move here by Riker Ferguson. He gains possession. He's got somebody backdoor looking for him. It's Sawyer Phillips, backhand in on net. Still loose. It's still loose. As the puck was sitting in the crease, Sawyer Phillips picked up the mail. Number 22 does not like it. It was sitting right in the crease right in front of me here. Whistle blows. Penn's going to change up the unit. This time we'll do it again from the left side of netminder number 35. Borman steps in, flanked by Wilson and Paris. On the backside, Stark and Loya. It's in skates right now as it's going to be forced back high in the zone where Nico Stark, good hustle there by Nico to keep in the zone. Wilson's going to come down the wall and finds the point man. That's Grant Loya. Paris covering back smartly, is able to keep this in the zone as 22 Sabo tries to force this up no further though. Eventually squirts back to the neutral zone. Number 4 just going to dump this all the way down the ice. It's going to go behind goaltender Dragicic, as Easton Borman's going to send this up high in the zone to 25 Blake Paris. Defender fell down. He's able to recover and get back up, though. Squirt's now free to the Pens defender, number 43. That's Grant Loya. He gets his head up. He gets the wheels going. Still has puck possession here. People are backing off of him. He finds Easton Borman. He's coming down Wall Street right now. He gets a lane just wide of the net. Easton Borman on that shot attempt. Welch comes over to try and hold this in the zone. He's tripped up as it squirts to Grant Loya once again. Sends it up ahead to Connor Wilson. He goes right back to Easton Borman. He's coming in 1-on-3. It goes off his shin pad now. He battles to get puck possession. 4:56 now to go in the second period. Goes off the pants of Connor Wilson. Now, as Jones winds things up, and he's going to try and curl around a guy. He gets around a second guy, but Mulligan gets a stick into him. As the Eagles are going to come out, Wyatt Frankenfield falls down. Welch is going to have to come over to help out. Welch now ports it behind the net. He's tripped up, nothing called. As Owen Mulligan tries to retrieve this puck here at center. It's going to be sent right back to the neutral zone here where Noah Welch is going to pick this up. He's going to skate back in, trying to get onside is Riker Ferguson. But we're going to have an offsides call here, neutral zone face-off. As Riker Ferguson steps in, tries to push this draw forward. He does go forward. It finds Bingham Green. Right back to Ferguson. Right back to Green. Off the mask of netminder number 35. Comes to CJ and invites the long shot. Deflects down. Bingham Green's going to be called for a high stick there. And it's going to be pushed back out of the zone. As they were, Pens were looking for something. Deflect off the high stick of Bingham Green and down in front of netminder number 35. So it's going to be brought all the way back down for a D-zone face-off. Junior Eagle is going to swap out their netminder. Number 35 is going to be brought to the bench, and now in net, number 35. Correction, number 30, as 35 sits down. Face-offs now are going to go off the stick of Dragicic. Pushes it up to Owen Mulligan. He's going to face some pressure here, some back pressure. He's able to bounce it out to the left side. Curls behind netminder number 30 now. He's taking a couple sticks off his hands. Leaves it for Borman. Just goes out of his reach, though, as it's going to be sent back to center to CJ Nanavisa. Nanavisa is going to send this off the stick of a Junior Eagle player and into the zone. As Mulligan's able to hold this in. Goes to Borman now. He's got Mulligan go to the net. And Bingham Green going to the net. Mulligan's going to come over. He runs into a guy. Nothing called. As Mulligan still has this here on the circle. Mulligan still has it on the half wall. Tried to go to the point. Does go to the point to Grant Loy. Deflects off a couple bodies. Squirts free in the crease. Nobody there to punch in the rebound, though. Bingham Green's going to collect it. He walks in. Sharp shot. Rebound attempt goes into the net. Easton Borman puts in the rebound off of a Bingham Green shot, and that makes it 2-0 here late in the second period. Easton Borman, number 74, tucks it in to make it 2-0 for your Pittsburgh Penguins elite squad looking for a berth in the championship game. Taking a 2-0 lead late in the second. Riker Ferguson now at center. Looking for more as the Junior Eagles going to win this face-off back to their D-man, but turns it right over back to the Pens. As Ferguson's going to move this up to Nico Stark. Stark's going to force this along. As Stark's going to push this now up to center. Comes right back into the zone where it's going to be an offsides call. Neutral zone face-off coming up. Penn's going to stick with the same clientele on the ice. Ferguson, Gaworski, Phillips, Frankenfield, and Stark. And of course, number 29, Max Dragicic in net. Holding down the fort as Phillips is going to fall down as he's trying to play this puck. He's going to leave it for number 93, Ferguson. He's going to go to work here deep in the Junior Eagle zone. Centering pass attempt. Had Gaworski unable to get a lot of wood on that as it's going to come squirt free. It's still in the crease. Number 9, Jones, is going to send this up to number 3. He's going to wind it back to neutral as it's number 93, Riker Ferguson. That's going to sail it back to Frankenfield. He goes D to D. Hot pass over to number 7, Nico Stark, centering off the stick of Ferguson. I'm able to control this puck. It still squirts free into the offensive zone. Turned over here right to the stick of Brooks Scores. He walks in, makes a little move, has his stick lifted right at the last second. Centering pass attempt goes behind the net. As Borman battles number 22 for puck possession. It's going to come all the way back down into the Penn zone. It's going to say it was tipped, so no icing call. It doesn't have the distance for ice day anyhow. They got Wilson up ahead of the plate. Paris is trying to send it to Wilson. Wilson had already turned, though, as Frankenfield's not going to bring it in to lead the rush. He's going to dump it deep and go for a change. As Paris is going to apply some pressure here on number 4 at 1:34 to go in the second period. It's going to come off the stick of Welch now as Nenevise is in a foot race. Good stick there by CJ, shot wide of the net. As Borman's going to go back and collect it. He's going to send it to the stick of Noah Welch. Welch has Nenevise and Paris ahead of the play. Goes to Paris. Paris is run into. Puck gets turned over here in the neutral zone as 4's going to dance around Easton Borman. Over to who get to that puck is CJ Nenevise. He's got Welch, his D partner, sends it to Welch. Welch is going to skate this up and send it not hard enough off the wall, and he loses puck possession. As Easton Borman now collects it. Borman's going to hustle over to get control. He's going to sail it right back down into the offensive zone. Welch is going to hustle over to try and keep it in here. He does. He's going to go down the wall here. He leaves it. Still has puck possession. He's going to send it to Mulligan here along the goal line. Squirts free to the stick of Noah Welch. He puts his head down. Shot taken wide of the net. Wilson hustles over to get to that puck. Centering pass attempt. Going to go off the wall to Noah Welch. Sends it right back down to Mulligan. As high in the slot. Now it's possessed by Bingham Green. It's going to do it for the first period. Pens were able to get another one here in the second off of an Easton Borman goal. 2-0's the score. And that's where we'll pick it up here momentarily in the third period. 12 minutes for this third period on the clock. We'll be back in a second. So we had a clock change here. Instead of 12 minutes, it's going to be 15 minutes up on the clock. Third period action set to start. In this semifinal matchup between the Boston Junior Eagles and the 2015 Pittsburgh Penguins elite team. Riker Ferguson steps in for the draw. He's on with Mulligan and Bingham Green on the backside. Stark and Loya. Officials getting everybody set here, and it's going to be kicked forward by the Junior Eagles center to himself. Number 22 is going to curl around. Had a man going to the net. Doesn't get through, though, because of the back check. And number 93, Riker Ferguson. Ferguson now is going to send this over to Stark. Stark airmails this ahead over the stick of Green. And back to center now, possessed by the Junior Eagles, who are content to backhand this off the skate of Owen Mulligan. He hustles over, and Owen's going to put this one into the bench. I think this might be the fourth puck today into a bench area off the stick of Mulligan. Almost hit Dad earlier this morning with a puck, and then had to make sure he was staying awake. But 14:31 to go now in the third period, as Easton Borman is going to dump this deep for the Pens as Brooks Gaworski goes over to try and retrieve this puck. He's banged into the wall, comes back to the point off of the backside of Borman and deflects in on netminder number 30. Pens going to make a change. Offensive zone face-off here. Sticking with the same forward unit of Phillips, Borman, and Gaworski on the backside. Frankenfield and Welch. 14-14 to go now in the third period. Players get set. Puck is dropped now, as it's going to be one back into the corner. Sawyer Phillips is going to collect it. He curls down the half wall now. It's going to be thrown behind the net as the Eagles are going to try and bring this out the other side. Welch is going to back off. He gets a stick into it, keeping it in the zone. Comes to Sawyer Phillips and into space now, high in the zone. As a man falls down, it goes to Brooks Gaworski. Gaworski leaves it for Phillips. Phillips is going to go across the ice to Welch. Welch takes a shot, and it goes in! And they're going to say that this is a high stick. No? It did not hit a stick, but they're going to say that. What's the call here? It hit off the shoulder of Brooks Gaworski. But the officials are going to blow this dead, saying it was a high stick. As it was a pretty seam pass by Sawyer Phillips over to Welch. Frankenfield's going to turn this over. It could have been a big change. Welch diving attempt now, as he needs to get up. As Ferguson goes down, he looks to be shaken up now, as he shakes his hand going back up the ice. It comes to the stick of Connor Wilson. Pens looking for another third goal of the game. He's pulled down now, as it's going to come to Noah Welch. He has it. He fans on this attempt, but gets it down the wall to Blake Parrish now. Ferguson's just interfered with high in the zone. Ferguson sticks with it here. He's been knocked around here on this shift. 12:57 now to go in the third period. Pens thought they collected their third goal of the game on a Noah Welch shot, but there's ruled that there was some interference or a high stick, so that's going to be wiped off. Noah Welch is going to send this now ahead to Connor Wilson, as it finds Blake Parrish. Long shot wide of the net. Comes now back to neutral here, as Pens are making a change. Getting some bodies everywhere, as Grant Loy's going to try and dance around a couple bodies. Junior Eagles players stepped on the ice and played that puck as two guys were going to the bench. Could have been a too many men call. That's not called. As Owen Mulligan's looking for more now behind the Junior Eagles net. 12:14 to go in the third period. Mulligan still has that puck. He's going to curl high in the zone. Still has the puck. Still dancing around with it. Brings it back to Loya, manning the right point. Right back down to Mulligan. Mulligan, he tries a curl move, as he's going to have this puck stolen by number 22 now. As Easton Borman brings this back to Bingham Green. Deflects off a couple of bodies. Bingham Green's going to send this in. Pens have a 3-on-2. Borman's going to charge the net. Mulligan with a shot wide of the net. Borman's trying to bank this off. The netminder's trying to cover it. Still loose. Whistle blown, though. 11:37 to go in the third period here from the Harbor Center in Buffalo, New York. 2025 Buffalo Cup semifinal matchup. Pens changing up the troops. Riker Ferguson back on to take this draw, flanked by Phillips and Gaworski. Starks and Frankenfield are the deep pair. It's Stark that's going to go back and get to this puck. Sends it up to his left winger, Sawyer Phillips. Phillips up to Ferguson. He steps in, long shot, deflects in on net, off the left pad of netminder number 30. Now on the half wall, it's Gaworski and Phillips working for this puck, as it goes over the stick of Frankenfield. He interferes with his man smartly to keep him from going any further, as it's going to be sent right back to Gaworski. Penn's going right back on the attack. 2-0 to score here as we approach the 11-minute mark in this semifinal matchup, as Riker Ferguson, he winds things back up in his zone. Outlets it to Brooks Gaworski. He chips it off the wall. He has it on the half wall. He's going to curl in now. Long shot off the left pad and skated out of danger by the Boston Junior Eagles here. They're going to send it in. One referee had his hand up for icing, as it did not look like the Junior Eagles hit center red, but icing's going to be waved off by the other official as it's brought back into the zone now by number 8. He curls around one guy. Long shot off of Max Dragicic, as Max gets a pad save. Pens have a 2-on-1 developing. Easton Borman, he's got Paris going with him. Borman slides it over to Paris. Blake Paris pucks it over the right pad of netminder number 30. Borman over to Paris. He tucks it home. And this one's going to count. 3-0 the score. A pretty pass by centerman Easton Borman finds the tape of an open Blake Paris, and it's in the back of the net. 3-0 now. 10:43 to go in the semifinal game over the Junior Eagles, as it comes back to the center now, as number 77 CJ Nenevisa is going to move it up to Blake Paris. And a whistle blows here. And it looks like offsides is going to be the call. It's going to be brought out of the zone. Borman steps in. He's going to win this over to his left winger, Blake Paris. He's going to wind it up into the zone. He brings it to center. He runs into a guy. And it's going to shake free here as the Junior Eagles are coming back on the attack. They have numbers here. 4-on-2 develops as they're able to curl around. And Nevisa Welch is going to come over and get a stick into the player, but it's going to shake free to 22. And he's going to put it behind the left pad of Max Dragicic to make this a 3-1 game. .934 as the things tighten up a little bit here. Bingham Green's going to try and bring this in. Again, quick on the transition of the Junior Eagles. They're going to chip it around Stark, as it's going to be number 8. Long shot off this side of the net. Diving play here by Riker Ferguson is going to move it to Stark. Stark sends it up to right winger Bingham Green. Green's going to move it up to Mulligan. As the Junior Eagles are going to bring this back now. They had a man ahead of the play, but sticked away nicely by Grant Loya. Leaves it for Nico Stark. Stark backhands it right back to the Junior Eagles. They walk down Wall Street, split the defense. Back check there by number 12. Owen Mulligan's going to get things out of danger. Mulligan's going to curl the center, turns the puck over high in the slot. Dangerous situation. As comes back to center now over the stick of Ferguson. It's going to be dumped right back to Penn's defenseman, number 43, Grant Loya. He's going to curl around. He's facing some pressure now. Goes into the skates of the official, moves along the half wall by Riker Ferguson up to Bingham Green now, where number 11 for the Junior Eagles is going to sail this right back into the Penn zone. Nico Stark's going to go back for it. 8:19 now to go in the third period. 3-1 the score. With both teams having a third period goal. Penn's having a goal waved off as well in the third period, as it's going to be danced around and sent through the high slot area where Grant Loya is going to collect it, brings it back behind his own net to reset things, goes over to Stark. Stark backhands it up and finds the point man, though, for the Junior Eagles, as Bingham Green's going to bring it back to center now. Penn's going to change all of their skaters, as the Junior Eagles player the netminder wanted to just cover it up and hold it, but officials tell him to move the puck. Does so now. It's possessed by Sawyer Phillips. He leaves it for Gaworski. Gaworski's run into, as he's going to back check and get to that puck, but it goes over the Junior Eagles defenseman. He's going to dump it right back into the Penn zone. Icing is waved off here. Welch is going to go back. He's going to be pressured here by number 44. He takes a shoulder. Welch still has this puck, as he's going to skate it out of danger now. He's going to leave it for Wyatt Frankenfield. Frankenfield's going to move it along to Gaworski. Didn't get a lot of wood on that pass, though. It's still high in the zone. As Welch is going to have to go back and retrieve this puck. He sends it over to Sawyer Phillips. Phillips can't get to that. Borman's on to help out with Welch. Welch is going to reverse it back up the wall to Phillips. Phillips, again, gets stuck in the zone here with it. Welch is going to come forward with it. He chips it into space. As Wyatt Frankenfield's going to go back and collect it. As he tries to hit Phillips with it. Phillips stands tall as a man runs into him. Shoots it off the backside of a Junior Eagles player here. Welch is over to seal off his man. Gets it to Borman. Borman is going to send this up ahead to Gaworski. As Sawyer Phillips, he walks in. Snapshot, right pad save there by the netminder. 6:47 now to go. Riker Ferguson has it. He's going to send it down for Phillips. Phillips has his puck stolen off of him. But good back check by Brooks Gaworski to send it right back into the offensive zone and keep the clock running, keep the Junior Eagles having to go 200 feet. 3-1 the score, under 6 to go in the semifinal round of the Buffalo Cup. As they're going to now try Nenevisa at number 4. Good stick there by Grant Loya to send it over to Nenevisa. Nenevisa moves it to Paris. It's going to be off the glove of Nenevisa, but ahead of the play was Junior Eagle number 4 as 22 brought it in. Whistle blows, offsides the call. Neutral zone faceoff coming up, 5:35 on the clock. Going to be punched ahead there by Connor Wilson off the wall. He's going to bring in the center. Curl move, unable to get around a man though, as Blake Paris goes to work now. It's going to be brought back to center by number 22. He's going to get around Nenevisa. He's got a man going to the net, decides to shoot it instead. Rebound, goal. 22 put the shot in on Dragosic. Rebound kicked right out to 87 Irvin. It's put back in the net. And what was once a 3-0 game has quickly become a 3-2 game. Here with 5:10 now to go in the third period. Easton Borman now at center. He's going to win this back to Stark. Stark now corrals this puck. He's facing a lot of pressure here. He's going to send it to his D partner. It's Wyatt Frankenfield. Frankenfield's going to go up off the wall with it. Throwing it back into the Pens offensive zone. We're under 5 to go, 4:54 and counting. As the Junior Eagles definitely have been applying some pressure. They send it behind Dragosic now as Frankenfield's going to go back and collect this puck. He leaves it for Borman. Borman goes over to left defenseman Stark. Has trouble getting to that puck, but Mulligan is going to chip it higher in the zone. Right back to the point man. Off the stick of Stark now. And it's going to be shot in on Dragosic. Good stick there by Max to get it out of danger. As it comes right back to Nico Stark. He's going to slow things down and takes it behind his net. Off the stick of Frankenfield. But to the Junior Eagles. They're going to dump it right back below the goal line. 4:12 now on the third period clock. Stark's going to send this up ahead to Green. Green tries to hit Mulligan. Mulligan bobbles this puck a little bit. It's going to be picked up by the Junior Eagles. Backhanded right back into the Penn zone. To the stick of Wyatt Frankenfield. Backhands it over to Borman. Borman's going to send it, but gets picked off by the point man. He's got a man back door. Hits him with a pass. Shot taken. Juicy rebound sitting there. Big save by Dragosic. Here as the rebound was shot wide of the net. Great pushback here by the Junior Eagles. They now send it to their point man. Shot taken off of a couple of gloves. It's loose. Just pulled wide of the net there. Borman was able to get a stick in at the last second to deflect that wide. Comes to Frankenfield. He's going to skate it out just in front of the net. And he's going to send it all the way down the ice, but not far enough for icing as the Pens are going to make a change. As the Eagles were trying to dummy that puck to let it go far enough for icing. Pens needed a change there, and they were able to get one. 3:15 now to go on the clock. As it's going to be pinned against the wall as it squirts behind the net of the Junior Eagles. It's going to be sent all the way back down to the top of the zone where it's stick down as Nenevisa is going to try and force his man to the outside. Shot taken off the outside of the post. As Ferguson's going to force this up to Phillips. Phillips backhands this into space. Good play there by Nenevisa to force this higher in the zone. Diving attempt to clear it. No further, though, as number 3 is going to curl back around. Shot taken off the right pad of Dragicic. Over to collect this puck now with the Junior Eagles. 2:33 to go as Gaworski's trying to force this out of the zone. And good stick by Sora Phillips to try and poke this ahead, but Riker Ferguson's now going to pick things up. Tries to hit a man. No, Welch is going to dump this right back down all the way into the offensive zone of the Pens. 2:13 now as the Pens are able to change some of their personnel. As Loya's going to force his man to the outside. Stark's going to go over and collect this puck. Stark tries to send this to Phillips. It's going to be picked off, though, by number 8. Comes to Phillips on the half wall. Centering pass, who had a streaking Wilson, brought right back in by the Junior Eagles. Still have this in a dangerous situation. Backhanded toward the net. Deflected in by number 8 and covered up by Dragicic. Pens are getting a much-needed whistle here. It's going to be to the left of netminder, number 29, Max Dragicic, and I believe we have a timeout call by the Boston Junior Eagles with 1:45 on the clock. So to reset the tail of the tape here, Pens were able to walk out to a 1-0 lead in the first period, added another in the second frame. They thought they had another goal to make it 3-0 that was waved off in the third period, but Blake Paris was able to get that third goal about a minute and a half later. And then the pushback from the Boston Junior Eagles have got 2 quick ones in the third. And that's where we've been since about the 5-minute mark of the third period. So the situation here in the Pens' own zone. Face off to the left of netminder Max Dragicic will be taken by number 74 Easton Borman. On with the forward group of Blake Paris and Connor Wilson. On the backside is Stark and Loya. 22 steps in to take this against Borman. Borman wins this draw back to Stark. I thought maybe the Eagles would pull their netminder. They've not. He's still in the crease. 9 steps around the man. Shot high off the mask of Dragicic. And to the stick of Stark. That's Paris that's trying to force this along. Paris does get this back to center. As we're now at 1:22, it's going to be sent back to the neutral zone. Off the stick of Loya here. Had trouble getting to that puck as they do pull their netminder. It's 6-on-5 now. No icing here as that was going to be tipped. 1:08 now to go in the third period. As the Junior Eagles have an empty net. It's going to be sealed off on the wall by Borman. He goes for that empty net, deflects off a couple of bodies, but brought back to the center by the Junior Eagles. 59 to go here on the clock from the Buffalo Harbor Center. As Grant Loy is going to force this up to Connor Wilson. Wilson tries to move this along. And it's going to be brought back into the zone here. It looked like they had a man ahead of the play. Should have been an offsides call, not called. As it sits right on the goal line here, just squirts free. Blake Paris gets this out of the zone. As the Pens are going to get a change here as there's 26 seconds now to go in the game. As an Eagles player is on the ice, whistle's going to blow. As there's 21.3 now to go on the clock. And teams are going to go back to their benches. And I'd assume the faceoff's going to go back into the Junior Eagles zone. As the Junior Eagles had a tired group of players out on the ice. They're getting a quick rest here. As the officials are debating where to bring this face-off, they're going to put it at center red. 21.3 on the clock. Ferguson's going to step in for this draw. Mulligan and Green on with Welch and Frankenfield. Late stages of the third period, semifinal matchup, 3-2 the score. Puck is dropped here. It's going to be pushed into the skates of the Junior Eagles. Going to be dumped deep now by Bingham Green. Can't get it all the way down the zone here. 11 to go here on the clock. It's going to go off the wall. Frankenfield now has it. He's just going to shoot for that empty net as Mulligan has it. Coaches are yelling for them to get it deep, but that's going to do it. As time expires here, a Penguin here is hit at the end of the game. 22 ran into a Penguin at the end of the game. As I believe that's Owen Mulligan that was crashed into by number 22 of the Junior Eagles. But that's going to do it as the Pens avenged the loss. Correction, avenged the tie to the Junior Eagles from the opening game of the Buffalo Cup. And your Pittsburgh Penguins Elite have advanced to the championship matchup, a final matchup, which I believe is a rematch from the Whippy Silver Stick tournament, as they will take on the Mid-Fairfield Junior Rangers here this afternoon. So be sure to stay tuned for updates and like and subscribe to Cine TV to catch the action later today as your Pittsburgh Penguins are victorious over the